In this video, I'll be reviewing the Purple Simply as a cushion to put on your Aeron chair. So about 5 years ago, I did a similar video where I checked out 5 different cushions. 5 years later, my recommended pick has finally worn out. So I tried 9 different cushions, and the Purple Simply was one of them. So in this video, I'm going to be checking out the Purple Simply when it comes to comfort, fit, quality, noise that it might make. What else did I not say? Look, how it looks on the chair. So I'll be giving letter grades to the cushion on all of these aspects and then making my recommendation. Throughout the video, I'll be demonstrating it on the Aeron C Classic, which is my chair. The seat has the same dimensions as the Aeron C Remastered, and I'll also be providing fit guidance based on the published dimensions of the seat for the B and the A. So to cut to the chase a little bit, to give you my top line thoughts, I thought the Purple Simply earned a B as a seat cushion for the Aeron C, a B as well for the Aeron B, and a B- as a seat cushion for the Aeron A. It just was a little bit too wide. So we'll get into the details in the video where I'll be walking through all of the different dimensions. So the Purple Simply at 18 by 16 looks pretty good on the Aeron C. It's quite a bit short. That's the biggest problem with it. It's about a 4 1/4 short. The width looks really good in the front, and I appreciated having that 18 inches instead of 17, even though there's a little bit of a gap in the rear. So overall, the fit of the Purple Simply, I give a B- on the Aeron C. The Simply looks a little better on the Aeron B. It's going to look like this corner. So it is still a little short, but it's not so dramatic as on the Aeron C. It's going to be short by about 2.75 inches. It's going to be slightly too wide in the front, which is going to cause it to curve up a little, and nearly perfect in the rear. So overall, it's a pretty good fit. I give it a B. On the Aeron A, the Simply is going to look even better in the front. It's only 1.5 inches short now, but it's going to be a bit too wide in the front. It's going to be about 2 5/8 too wide past that line, which is going to cause it to curve up and could affect the comfort of the seat. So overall, I have to give it a D+ for fit on the Aeron A, as I'm really worried about that 18-inch width. So the Purple Simply is a fine-looking cushion. It's got that heathered gray top like the other purple cushions. It does have this logo, which I don't care for, but it's a little more hidden because it's a lower on the seat cushion. Still has the handles with the purple stitching, which I could do without. I would just note that the difference between this one and why I give it a slightly higher grade for look than the Royal and the Double, there's no sort of vinyl edging here. It's sort of thin enough that you don't have to have this like extra thing of this black vinyl line, which I didn't really care for personally. Not a big deal, but it gives it a slight boost when it comes to the look, and I give it a B- for a grade. So like the other cushions from Purple, the Simply is a very high quality item. The case in particular, it's really best in class. Again, it's a thick, soft top, super heavy duty bottom, handles you could save your friend's life with, a zipper that's really durable and not going to break. I mean, I don't know why you'd use this very often, but if you do, it won't break. I think the inside, the polymer is really nice. I think for whatever reason, my Simply had a lot fewer imperfections than my Royal, though it does have some. There's like little holes there, a little bit of a texture thing going on. So that's fine. I don't think that really matters, but I do think it's also worth emphasizing that this polymer is a little bit unique and special. I do think it's a bit different than some of the generic knockoffs. I don't know how they managed to pull that off. Maybe they've got a good patent or something, but it just feels more gelatinous and wobbly, even though the cells are thicker. So, I think that does end up manifesting in greater comfort for some of these cushions and might be worth paying the increased price for the Purple. So overall, it's a high quality item like the Royal, like the Double, and I give it an A for quality. So let's try the Purple Simply. So I like this cushion. I think it feels really solid. I know Purple kind of marketed as a more portable, maybe more affordable option. I think it might be one of the least expensive in their line. But I liked it. I definitely preferred it to the Royal, interestingly. I did not prefer it to the Double when it came to comfort. I think that one of the things it has going for it is it's a little bit softer than some of the generic knockoffs, and it's a little bit thicker than, for example, the Tomite, which is another one I liked. But this one has a little bit more thickness and support to it. I think it also has a little more width in the rear, which I think is important if you have big hips or you're a big person like me. So I liked being able to straddle a little bit and not feel like I was just falling off the cushion. I think the biggest thing holding this one back, again, is the lack of depth. And all of the Purple cushions I tried are only 16 inches deep. And again, it's just like a lot of surface area that could be in contact with the cushion, more evenly spreading the weight. But instead, I've got this edge sort of hitting into the middle of my thigh. And over time, I did notice that. I think this cushion, for me, was pretty comfortable, but not among the most comfortable. I think it really needed to have more extension in the front to have that greater level of comfort. I will say you can feel the cells moving a little bit, but I think less so than the Double and the Royal. I think given the thinness, there's less sort of collapsing happening inside. So overall, I give this one a B for comfort. I think it's a good option if you really want a ventilated, high quality option, but the Double is a little bit more comfortable. So let's see if the Purple Simply makes a noise when you sit in it. So it does make a slight noise. I think when I first actually scored it in this category, I didn't think there was any noise, but when I was going to record this video, I do hear a very slight noise. It sounds like a little bit of a grippy noise as the cells or the bottom is rubbing against the seat. So it's nowhere near the noise that you get with the Purple Double or the Royal, but there is a little bit of a noise you can hear. So I'm going to give it a B for noise. So before I close out, just a reminder, you'll find links in the description to learn more about the products featured in this video. If you do end up following one of those links and make a purchase, it's a really nice way to show your support. Helps out content creators like me. We make a small commission on those purchases. So very much appreciate if you do end up using those links. And with that, let's finish out the video. So in the end, I think this is a really solid cushion. I gave it a B in overall based on the weighting I applied to the criteria for the Aeron C model, a B for the Aeron B model, and a B- for the Aeron A model. I think it's a really solid option for someone who really values that super high quality case, doesn't necessarily want something as big or bulky as some of the other Purple cushions, and really wants that ventilated feel. I think the main things holding it back for me were just the lack of the depth, and just it wasn't quite as comfortable as some of the other options. So ultimately, this was not the cushion I decided to keep. If you want to keep checking out my reviews, you'll find links to the comparison where you can see what I ended up keeping. But I can say, many people wouldn't be disappointed at all with this cushion, particularly people who are using this on a smaller chair and maybe don't need quite as much depth, and maybe aren't quite as picky on some of the aesthetic aspects. Though I will say, I think I ultimately ended up finding better cushions for the Aeron chair.